For many industries, the 2008 financial crisis created an uncertain economic landscape, and the housing sector was no exception. Despite this, Whitefriars Housing, part of WM Housing Group, still delivered by focusing on regeneration and sustainability to improve the lives of current and future residents. John Briggs has this report from a community-led development in Coventry.
When housing estates become notorious for poor conditions and antisocial behaviour, that stigma can take decades to erase. The Wood End estate, right here in northeast Coventry, was one such area. This wasn't the place to live, let alone bring up a family. But since WM Housing started building here, this mixed tenure development is somewhere that people actually choose to live.
There were streets where houses were boarded up because we couldn't find tenants to live in them, despite there being quite a large waiting list for social housing in the city.
It was an area that had so much stigma attached to it that if you were going to invest, you wouldn't do it here.
The developers were very nervous, so we couldn't find any one PLC developers to take on the project. It was 3 developers formed a consortium to share the risk and help us transform the area.
But it hasn't been plain sailing. Having started master planning the work with the community in 2002, the original plan was to build 3,000 new homes on the site. And then in 2007, the financial crisis hit.
Unlike many projects up and down the country, we kept going through that crisis. Once you've painted the picture of what the future could be, it's very difficult when you're an anchor institution in the area and you employ 600 local people to then walk away because it's not good business. This is our community, it's our area, so we had to keep going.
But it's also the residents' community, and right from the start, they've made certain that their voices are heard.
You try and leave them out, they'll soon very clearly tell you that it's their area and they should have a say in everything that goes on in the area. As they tell me regularly, you don't live here, you go home at night, you're just a suit. They've changed that a bit and said, actually, you're our suit now because you understand our area.
We feel like people are listening to us. And for us as residents, that's big. Because before, people would just parachute in, do something without asking resident what's going on or how they feel about things.
So you've obviously lived here for a while and you've got friends who live perhaps in other parts of Coventry. I mean, are they envious of what you have?
Yeah.
In what way?
They can't believe the amount of things we have in our area that they don't. For instance, all the kids' clubs, little things like the gym. It's the things that go on at the leisure centre that they miss. They don't have all that and they can't believe how much we have here.
We've got great schools, we've got GPs who care and invest in, we've got increased life expectancy, we've got parks. We have more activities and people come into this area and say, there's nothing like that goes on in our area.
So all the way through this, we've had very active residents involved, and working with them, you see the benefits it's made to their lives, and that makes you want to do more of it.
And it's not purely about the housing, it's about the amenities and the environment too. An award of £54 million was spent on everything from tackling anti-social behaviour to an all-important community centre.
Primarily it's a leisure centre, it's got fantastic facilities, but it's also a community hub. You know, a lot of the other agencies operate from there, there's lots of meeting room spaces, there's a community cafe. Trying to get those social enterprises going was also very important to us and the New Deal for Communities board.
Social housing is very often associated with the sort of building you can see behind me. But WM Housing believe that if you build the sort of development which is more than just a roof over someone's head, then you can create a community where people are proud to live and work, like this one.
People are proud and they want people to know. And I think that that's the best testament of an area that is on the up.
We're not finished and we'll stick with this project till the end. More importantly for us, it's looking at some of the other outcomes of the project, which is educational achievement has improved, health outcomes have improved, employment rates have improved. So all of the things that we wanted for this project, which was more than just about the housing, the physical housing, we've also seen real dramatic improvements over the last 5 to 10 years.